This goes out to you. Only shout out to you. If you heard I got love for you, then somebody lied to you. You were only good for one thing. The life I made with you. When it comes to the other thing, I hate that I lay with you. I wish I knew what went on inside your head. Thought I had an ex, I got a Y instead. Do you even listen to the shit you say? You act like you got what I got in between my legs. Save your drama for your new chick. I don't want it, I've been through it. I can't stand you, I don't want you. Since you can't be a decent baby father, guess that make you a baby mama. You act like a bitch sometimes, I feel like we switch sometimes. And you're the baby mama. I hate the way you act some days, like you're trying to take my place and be the baby mama. This goes out to you, crying out loud to you. When you gon' man up, when you gon' stand up. We never made a good us. When you gonna admit that? When you had me, you couldn't get right. How you want me back? I wish I knew what went on inside your head. Thought I had an ex, I got a Y instead. Do you even listen to the shit you say? You act like you got what I got in between my legs. Save your drama for your new chick. I don't want it, I've been through it. I can't stand you, I don't want you. Since you can't be a decent baby father, guess that make you a baby mama. You act like a bitch sometimes, I feel like we switch sometimes. And you're the baby mama. I hate the way you act some days, like you're trying to take my place and be the baby mama. Did your hand in the delivery room? Did you give birth? I don't know, was it me or you? Is it your time of the month when you in your mood? In that case, I'm a baby father. Guess that makes you a baby mama. You act like a bitch sometimes, I feel like we switch sometimes. And you're the baby mama. I hate the way you act some days, like you're trying to take my place and be the baby mama.
It's Mother's Day weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers out there. Bringing you greetings from your Bringing Lyrics to Life fam. And singing Happy Mother's Day to you good mothers who are out there. What's up, Reese?
Apparently, according to this song, Happy Mother's Day to some of you baby fathers. Amen. Amen. Jesus.
Yeah. Shout outs to Naya who decided to pick this song and go ham. I don't know what's in her DNA today, but that thing, she had something to say apparently, boy. I tell you. Yeah. This song is something.
It's fire.
It's something. It's something. We going we don't want to jip y'all, but we going to try to keep tonight's episode a little short. Cause I don't know about y'all, but I gotta see this versus battle. This thing about to be it is SWV and Escape. I have to see, cause some of them look like they escaped, some of them look like they got captured, some of them.
I ain't gonna hold you. This is one of the ones that I'm gonna watch just for the comments.
I mean, I think this is gonna be Comedy Central.
Is this another one where they don't really like each other? So or are they actually cool?
Nah, they seem to be cool. It's not
they always seem to be cool.
It's not till the verses
but
that
it's
like,
listen, they don't even like each other within the groups.
right.
So yeah, I want to see
what's
who
the name
actually.
coming on there? What's the name? Wife? Wasn't she?
T.I. wife?
Yes.
That's listen,
why I said
this is
one
why
of
I'm
the
saying
ones I'm watching for the
I'm
comment.
looking forward to it because I want to see what happens, what comes of it, who shows up, who walks off. I gotta see it. I gotta see it because it's just gonna be crazy. It's definitely gonna be crazy.
So let me start this with a question since we're doing this. Because when I read your book,
Which book?
the one where the woman turned out to really be a man, and I was scarred for the next like 2 months of my
Is
life.
it public privacy?
Yeah, that's that one.
That must have been
Yeah.
That's that one. Yeah.
And at the end, you said something that I felt was true. That is when you stop sleeping with them, there's no drama. So I felt like that was true. So is this because sis still wants, like, is this written from the perspective of somebody that still wants to be with their baby dad and so they're mad?
So let me just say, as somebody who's not with their children's father, there are men out there who use sex as a weapon. Like, if we not smashing, I'm not a father. That's just how some people behave. I'm just being honest.
Okay, so some interest is only in the mother.
Yes, and you know what? Let me not be too honest on here. That's
Wow.
that's what happened.
No, be honest. Say what you need to say.
Because when I'm listening to this, I immediately thought of your book because I felt like that was true. I think a lot of baby mom, baby father issues, which is one of the reasons why I would prefer not to be with somebody with kids.
Right.
Because they continue to sleep with each other for a very long time.
But
I think in 78% of the cases.
Yeah.
So
okay, because in my case,
I feel like if you're not sleeping together and you want to be a father, that should make it easy because you don't want me, I don't want you, but we got this kid, so let's just do the best, and that should be the end of it.
Let me just say, when it comes to relationships in general, maturity is the key because that's just the key. Because there are situations where if we're both steadfast in it and we're like, no, we going to co-parent, we going to have a healthy relationship for our children, that's just what it's going to be, and we both are mature enough to handle that, then it's going to go well. But if one of us is immature or both of us are immature and we both still got feelings for each other, or we both want to be petty, or we both just trifling, or one of us is trifling, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not going to be compatible, it's not going to work, and it's just always going to be an issue.
we both trifling.
Because, I mean, it happens. People is raggedy out here.
Yes, they are.
Child.
All right, you want me to start with the verse?
Yeah, hop in that thing.
This goes out to you. Only shout out to you. If you heard I got love for you, did somebody lie to you?
Fact.
You were only good for one thing.
True.
The life I made with you when it come to the other thing. I hate that I laid with you.
Facts.
Okay, that's the end of the verse. But can I say something for all the future people coming on here? We encountered some issues on the last episode. When you send your lyrics, do line by line. Amen. Do not send it like it is a long paragraph text that you... And then, because then it cannot be read with the emphasis that you may want. Amen. And also read it because that unfortunate automatic spell check is not your friend, especially when you're writing lyrics.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it starts correcting things
Right.
that you meant to be said one way.
So,
And then,
listen, I can't tell you the
Amen.
conversations that I have with Word. I'd be like, let me explain something to you. I know what I'm saying. Like, you need to relax. Because, listen, I don't like red anyway. But anyways.
all right, so that was verse 1.
Yeah.
I don't have kids, so my only experience with baby mom and baby father has been being with somebody who's lying about the fact that he's still sleeping with his baby mom. That's really my only relationship with that whole situation. Amen. And this is why most of the time, that's what made me not want somebody with kids. I kind of didn't mind it. But when I started messing with people who had kids, you see it like, y'all still messing around. Like, no.
And honestly, like, from my perspective, I don't want to talk to somebody with kids because my tolerance is so low. Like my children are everything to me. So I just hold people to a high standard when they're parents, like, period. And I just feel like sometimes it's unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we go out and we eating dinner and you don't know if your child ate today, I'm going to feel away. If we go out shopping and you don't know what size your child wears, I'm going to feel away. Like, it's just little stuff that I feel like life is complicated enough, and relationships is a whole nother barrier. And I just feel like those types of things, you probably don't want to finagle with me.
Who doesn't have kids outside of Reese Siren and
And
Lawrence T?
that's the issue. Like,
That'd be
I'm being realistic. It's not fair because I have 2 children, so it's not fair for me to be like, you can't have no kids. Like, but in my defense, most of my friends, and I have a lot of male friends, most of my friends don't have kids. There's literally, like, out of 20 male friends that I have.
I can't.
Oh yeah.
Let me ask you this question though. In from the female perspective, do you feel like it's the male who tends to keep that relationship going, or the female?
As far as
The baby mama and the
inappropriateness?
baby daddy still sleeping with each other.
So let me just put this out there for y'all. Again, I'm gonna try not to be too honest, but listen. Men will smash if you let them. Period. So it's up to the woman to be like that. And a lot of baby moms know that they have that power, know that they have that control, and they seek that validation. Especially when it comes to the baby father, because there's always going to be a petty thing with that situation for whatever the case.
I will say this,
is.
you know, it is a matter of pettiness for a fact. I'm trying to think of another word outside of savage, but females today they are savages, and they are very aggressors, we'll say, to keep that type of relationship going. In addition to that, for the women who don't want to keep the sex, they try to hold everything else over you. Like, I am constantly told, you know, will you owe me? No, how? What do I owe you? You know, and I'm told that often, like, no, we got children. You owe. I don't owe you anything, but it is a constant thing.
I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get that mindset. And I also think with women, I think that if they had the realization that men would smash anything, they wouldn't take pride in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, baby moms in particular will be like, oh, well, I know if I hit him right now, he gonna come hit it. Well, shorty,
Men
if
will
any
smash
shorty hit
anything.
him right now, he gonna hit it.
Not
So what
all
you
men
saying?
will smash
I'm just in
anything.
general, like, for real, like, you playing yourself, shorty. Like, that's.
I
where
think
you
a lot
going
of
with
them use it as control.
Yeah.
Because they can kind of manipulate.
I was
the
gonna say, but that's on
situation.
both sides, though. That's on both sides.
Well, that's what we
I'm
talking
talking
about with
about
the
the
song.
female.
And in some
Yeah.
cases, the role switches, and the dude is like, "Oh well, if I can't get none, then you can't
I'm
get
not
this
doing.
$20
I'm not gonna do
for
this.
him to get a haircut."
Yeah,
Like,
I've heard that. I've seen that. I know. I know something like that.
And for all of that, then y'all just need to freaking be together. Because it sounds like that y'all just.
There's levels to toxicity.
Sure.
That just, I don't know. It just sounds stupid to me.
It is. It is. But some
It's
people just
terrible is
can't.
what it is.
Some people just can't be together. I mean, think about an ex. You know what I mean? Like, if you categorize your exes, there's always that one that always was the best, and it's like, if I could have, what'd you say?
Not necessarily.
Oh, well, there's always a memorable person though, in different categories, and you'd be like, if I could with this person and then get this from that person, you know what I mean? When you start, when you
So
by
as a
yourself
man,
and you
that's
start trying to
build a
create your
man.
perfect being.
So are we saying that the baby moms usually had the best shot? Is that what we're saying?
Oh, I'm definitely not saying that. that is not what I'm saying. Please don't make that mistake. No, not saying that at all. But nah, I'm just saying, like, I mean, there's times where, and I also say this, it's easier to stick to something that's familiar.
Yes.
I enjoy sticking to familiar just because that means not adding another number. my numbers still mean something to me. So I would prefer that somebody that is already in the number one more time. Glad, glad, glad. That was a song the choir used to sing. I had to be in the number one more. Somebody that's already in the number. I would prefer that they act right because I just don't want to keep adding.
I understand that.
Right.
I definitely.
So I'll say for me, that's where I be at with it. Like, could you?
I think it's the familiarity, and I also think it's the what's the word? Responsibility, because and the obligation. Like, if we have a child together, I am always going to have a responsibility to you. I'm always going to have an obligation to you. And for men and a lot of women, it's that's not easy.
No.
So if I'm already going to have to do that with you. You understand what I'm saying? Why would I have to do that with somebody else trying to build a relationship with them too? You understand what I'm saying? So it would just be easier if we could make this work because I'm going to still have to deal with you regardless.
Right. Yeah, but then you heard what you said though, but that's when you turn it into it's a job at this point. Like I'm just punching the clock.
Kinda our job.
They definitely are, but now I'm negotiating terms and now I'm settling. You know what I mean? 'Cause that's what I'm doing. I'm settling.
I'm sorry. Are you under the impression that co-parenting is easy in any regard?
You know who you're talking to?
That's why I'm like,
you know good doggone well.
That's why I'm like, you saying this like this is appalling to you. Like, it's work.
No.
It's work.
No.
It's like damn near death.
Nah, I'm just saying it's like, I'm good. I no, for real. I will settle for the torture. I cannot and will not be with you.
Right.
Let's just take me through hell and I'll pray my strength.
As far
I'm
as
good.
why people do stay in those situations, especially past their expiration date, is because of that obligation. Like, well, I'm stuck with you regardless, so we might as well try to make this work.
But my thing is, if you ain't gonna try to make it work, then keep your private parts to yourself.
This is why domestic violence is at all time high. Because I done stayed with you out on the obligation. I'm gonna go upside your head. It's crazy. I'm all about inspiration. If I feel like it's an obligation, I'm not going to do it, period. Like, even with, and I know this is petty, but like, even when somebody says I love you, if I don't feel inspired to say I love you, I'm not saying it. Like, you say thank you?
I'm not going to, yes. I say thank you. Or I say I love you. I don't say I love you too, because even I love you too seems to me like a burden.
It's
like,
a response.
like I'm saying it
it's
because
a response.
you said it.
Right.
And I don't ever want to say that because
you're talking
you
good.
understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to do it. No pineapples. I don't like it. But I'm just gonna be like, thank you, I appreciate it, or I love you. It's not gonna be I love you too, because I feel like, and I also feel like it's so common. I feel like you put somebody on the spot, they're gonna say it just because you said it.
But
I don't ever,
and that's the other thing. But people also need to stop saying it just to get a response.
And that's,
say it because you mean it, and just mean what you say, and be done.
So that's exactly why I ain't finna feed into it. Don't even hurt yourself.
I have no comment. There was a very specific situation, and I never know who watches, so I'm just going to not say a word on the subject.
Oh man, go to the next verse.
So how do we feel about this? There are, as I was listening and reading along, there are some things we know are true, but I think are better left unsaid. Is this one of those things?
So I would say this, even when I did the post for tonight's episode, I was like, she got a lot to say. As a male, I automatically would jump to the defense or offense, and be like, what? You coming? But listen to what she's saying. Like, I mean, she's telling the truth and she's telling her truth.
But I mean, we all know that.
We do.
The role switched a long time ago.
I didn't know other people knew that. Like, I championed this song when I first heard it. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I bet you did.
Somebody gets it. Because, and let me tell you, all right, again, I'm going to try not to be too honest. But,
no, go on.
Hypothetically speaking,
when you not being honest, you being honest. So go ahead and be honest.
Hypothetically speaking, perhaps there was a situation where someone got pregnant and her male friends told her, oh, he trapped you. Like, literally, the way that the situation happened, that this person who was pregnant was explaining how it happened, and they said, oh, he trapped you. And it never even occurred to that person that was even a thing, that guys do that.
Or
So-
females do it.
I didn't know.
Well,
guys
that's
did
what I'm
it. I didn't
saying.
know that
This
was
is
a
what I'm
guy
saying
thing.
about the song. Like, everybody knows that females do it. That's been the ongoing narrative. It never even crossed the girl's mind that guys are capable of such conniving, trifling. Like, why would you
From the
behave
song,
this way?
it sounds like somebody who's annoyed with the relationship of their baby father, and it sounds like something I figured out years ago, that the roles have switched. In a lot of my relationships, I've been the guy and they've been the girl. They would never admit it, and if they saw this, they would faint and probably text me and be like, I know you ain't talking about me, but there is at least 3 of them that I'm talking about. And the thing of it is, but I've seen girls wear shirts that say the rules are reversed. Certain things, even though you know it, once it's said, it almost like champions an unsavory movement, because then I watch females start acting like they the nigga because that's how it's been.
And that's why I like this song so much.
It champions ratcheteers who
like
you're
that
not even part of what she's talking about, but they just
But they gonna ride with it.
yes. And
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
I feel like it could be a
It's gonna
ratchet.
encourage their
Yes,
ratchetness.
like it's a ratchet
Yeah.
movement. The truth of the matter is, at least relationship wise, I don't have any kids, but relationship wise, it's been true a long time. But I would never make a song about it. You're looking at the men may tear gas you when you get out the car, because it's just like you just became the net. You better stay with Waka Flocka forever, because you are never gonna be able to get nobody else, because they're gonna be upset about this freaking song. Like,
Well, that's why I like the song so much, because it's relatable, and it's her not only explaining the situation, but explaining like, bro, I didn't ask for this. Like, bro, this is my thing as far as what you were saying. Like, I've been in those situations where I feel like I was the more dominant person in the relationship, and I didn't want to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not going to rise to the occasion, like it's like automatic. We have to fall into roles, and there are certain things that have to go a certain way in a relationship. So if you're not going to do it, it has to get done. So you just
I have a
become
challenging
that
question
person.
to the two of you.
well, let me say this for you. Say it. I was never trying to be the dominant person.
Right.
They were literally. I never seen people so in their feelings, but they not in their feelings. And people where they learn how to play the victim in every freaking situation. Like, when I say it, because some people misconstrue, I wasn't trying to wear the pants, but the pants was on the floor and the panties was already on, so I really didn't have any other choice to do. Like, the panties
that's
were
what I'm
already
saying.
being worn. I didn't have them on, and there was nothing left but pants to put
Exactly.
on. So I put them
Exactly.
So you just picked a verse from her song.
on. Like,
But
literally.
that's the point. It's
You
like,
ain't the
I don't
baby
have
father,
a
so
choice
you must
because, and this is my thing as far as being a single mom. It's like, bro, like, I don't want to have to be the one to take them to get haircuts. I don't want to have to be the one to teach them how to cut the grass. I don't want to have to be the one to do all of these things. But bro, if I ain't, who gonna do it? You understand what I'm saying? Like, I gotta be. So, I mean, that's just, it's gonna either you become that person or somebody's gonna fail. There's gonna be a lot of things missing in the situation, and which one is worse?
I'll tell you what I think was a more. I don't want to use that word. I like Tammy. I'll tell you what I think was a more tactful version of this, and that was Fantasia's "Man of the House." Like, that was my jam. It was on the album where Back to Me. It was on that album. That was my song, because it was true, and it was less like you a pussy. Like, it wasn't as blatant. Like, Tammy just like, nigga, you a pussy. Like,
but I don't feel like, and music is up to interpretation. Like, everybody takes something different from it, but I don't feel like she was saying it in a positive way. It's like, bro, like, man up, cause you acting like you the baby mom.
Definitely had something to say.
Like,
And
that's
it's
how,
all
and I feel like that. Like, I feel like that. Like, bro, like, if you could just do your part,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Which isn't a lot.
so how would you feel if you were her husband? Like, would you feel some type of way about this song?
That
It's
she-
not about him, but the fact that she feels this strongly about her baby dad. Because I'm sure he probably feels like he steps in anyway. So
Walker love this song.
he has to, because he done got in trouble. So he better support every freaking thing she does.
For
And
me,
amen.
for me, it's two things. Number one, if I know that I'm doing my part, I would be secure in that. However, there will be a conversation.
Because it feels like there's feeling here.
No, there is.
It's
So what
always
is?
going to be feelings.
And that's the thing. There is.
It's
There's always
gonna
going to be a
feelings.
feeling,
This is my
and no
child's
matter
father,
what I
regardless.
do, I'll never be able to fill that void.
Because
and let
my
me just,
child is owed that. It's not even about me. It's about my child. And it's about the fact that one, as the mom, shouldn't have to deal with this crap from you. And my child shouldn't have to deal with this crap from you. So I'm always going to feel a way towards you about that, period.
So let
I
me,
don't care if I'm married and I have the best husband in the world, the best stepfather in the world. You owe my child everything because my child didn't ask to be
That's why
here.
she like this, huh?
No, I'm just saying. It's just
I
the
think
principle.
I think for people who are in it, they're gonna be like, it's the truth. So what? But somebody, I thought
From
I
an
was,
outsider.
Yeah. I thought I was pregnant one time, like for real, and I said something to the father, and he was like, "You're not," and that was just the end of it. And I kept dreaming it, and he was never around. I had already made up my mind that he was probably not going to do his job, and he was never me again, and me and that kid was going to be good. Like the whole bitter, you need to do your I was good on that. Like the drama of it, I was good on. That kid was going to, other than the fact that everybody else has two, he'd have never noticed because I was going to make sure that I held him down. Like that was my mind frame of it. Once I know
beautiful.
where you was going to be at, because I'm not a drama person. Like I refuse to be the woman who is taking you to court. I refuse to be the woman who's telling you about all my doctor's visits and you're not, it seems like you're not interested. Like I'm not, because of the way I've been treated coming up, up till now, you only got to make me feel like you don't want me one good time. What? You only got to do it once. Why my nails look like this? I went in there trying to make my appointment. Everybody stood there and looked at me for 5 minutes. I left, said I will take them off. You only got to make me think you don't want me one time. So in a way, I get it. But just in a way, it was just like, there's not a feeling here.
Okay. Let me take myself out of it, right? I know more than one woman who has done the in vitro thing, right? Single women wanted to have a baby, didn't have a man, all that good stuff, right? Got a baby, had a baby. The child grows up and the child says, "Where's my daddy?" Right? I plan to have this child by myself. I've raised this child to the best of my ability by myself. There is something in you as a mom that's going to hurt. And if that wasn't the case, and if that wasn't the scenario, if you didn't get yourself pregnant, you're going to feel a way towards that man when that child says that, period. And it doesn't matter how much you plan, how much you prosper in single motherhood, it's going to make you feel a way because at the end of the day, children don't ask to be here. Me as a mother, I didn't ask for them to be here. So it's certain things that you can't avoid. Especially with feelings. Feelings are unpredictable.
I would just tell him like your dad was a loser, honey. I'm sorry.
Jasmine Sullivan, pick up your feelings.
I would have. I'd be like, your dad was a loser. I'm sorry. Man. That was my bad for doing that and thinking we were in love. I'm so sorry. You want some ice cream? Like that legit was me. They probably have a bunch of toys, ice cream, and candy and sneakers because that's what I would do. That was your mommy's fault because he was a loser and she didn't figure it out. I'm so
Players
sorry.
mess up. That's my thing.
So rewind, just so let me just help my fellow men out there and who are stepfathers and those type situations. Please understand that it's not about you, and you can't go into it with the mindset that it is, and you can't feel defeated because that's a void you'll never be able to fill. That connection that the mother had with the father in creating that child, birthing that child, so on and so forth, there's a connection there that you'll never be able to recreate or replace or fix what was broken or anything like that. So, you gotta just be supportive. Again, Christian though, I would be supportive, but we still gonna have a conversation about this song. But there's and I'll say this. I remember going back to Naya. She needed people deal with things differently, right? And people have to go through their process. And I literally gave her a year, right? I gave her a year.
Saved my life, y'all.
And I gave her a year, and I'm like, yo, you don't have to do nothing. Don't worry about the boys. Don't work. Just recover, heal,
Folks was finna die.
and go through the process however you need to go through it. Literally, and I kept track on that calendar. The day the year was up, I went to her like, what you doing? What you gonna do? You gotta do something. You had a year. And then she's like, I don't know. And she's like, I gotta get it out. I said, write it out. And now here we are 15 books later. You know what I'm saying?
Still writing, child.
There, you know, so sometimes you just being that backbone, being that support system goes further than anything that you might try to do, you know, any gift you might try to buy, all that kind of stuff. I'm telling you, sometimes just being a listening ear makes a difference. And I'll say this, one thing that I had to learn even in my marriage, as men, naturally we want to fix stuff. So when people came with complaints and you know, was fussing or nagging or however we felt, I always was looking to fix the problem. And it wasn't for me to fix, it was just for me to listen. You know, so now, I tell my friends, I tell my sister, and if I ever get in a relationship, I will say, listen, you got to tell me what to turn on and what to turn off. Am I fixing or am I just listening? Because naturally, I want to fix. And that's also just who I am. So, but if you just want me to just listen and be a shoulder, you gotta let me know that so I know how to shift. That's all I had on that.
But Fresh Prince had Uncle Phil, but he still cried about his dad.
Right.
So I'm just trying to give people the full picture.
Yeah.
Some things it's just
because there's just I mean, right. There are.
Right, but
never mind.
I'm just saying it because the child didn't write this song. Tammy did. Amen. Amen. Pre-chorus says, I wish I knew what went on inside your head. Thought I had an X, I got a Y instead. Do you even listen to the bleep you say? You act like you got what I got in between my legs. Do we think this is how she feel? Did somebody just write it and she got like a hit or at least something that people will talk about?
I know it's how I feel.
Cause I knew I thought she was trying to sing before, but I kind of thought it was a joke. I'm not no shade. I didn't think it was real.
Crazy thing is, Tammy is actually known for singing, but it was like, you know what I mean? But everybody else really knows her more for the acting and the fashion, and you know what I mean.
I just knew her from being on hip hop and get fighting in there.
But this here song, this thing is climbing, it's moving, it's going. But of course, because look at the world that we live in. I mean, and
legit,
it can be that anthem to the Ratcheteers.
This is.
I can't say that. I don't know. I have a totally different perspective than that. But first of all, I liked her first album, and second, I really liked
the whole album.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I liked it. But to me, like this song,
we love you, Tammy.
I don't know. I can't even hear. I mean, I gotta listen to it again, but I can't even hear where a ratchet person would identify.
You don't interact with ratchets,
yes,
so you
I'm
would
like,
not understand.
Where would you?
I will tell you.
Let me tell you why I'm having a hard time with that. Because the ratchets that I know, right, are deadbeats. Do you understand what I'm saying?
And
so,
yes.
so I'm saying
but they will take this and flip it and turn it as if like.
How would you feel this way towards the father of your child?
Because it's everybody else's fault.
Oh, see, I don't like that.
And some people don't.
That's not where I was going with this song. I just want to be clear about that.
Some people don't have any. They are not aware of themselves at all. It's like when you in church and somebody's preaching. And the loudest person talking in your head, you be like, they are describing you to a T. Like, are you listening at all? That's how I know this will be one of them songs where moms who don't even watch their kids every day will be turning it up, talking about, I know that's right, Tammy.
See, that makes
and
me
you
feel away.
horrible. Like,
That makes me feel away because this
I
ain't,
think-
this ain't for you, boo.
right. I think you identify because it's a true statement and you understand it. But there are people who have no legal right to even say anything about the
at
song,
all.
and they're gonna take this and be like, yes, boo.
Because the honest truth.
I can't stand y'all heifers. I just want y'all to know.
No, because the honest truth is some women are so ratchet that they push men to the point of, I'll just pay child support and I don't want no parts at all.
There are some of those.
And
There are.
I've know people who have experienced that, and I almost knocked at that door.
I've seen some
So,
women where if I was
I
the
get
dad, I think I'd give up. Like, you
No,
just
I've and
tell my son to holler, my daughter holler at me when they're 18, and I'll explain everything. Like,
and
no.
let me say, I'm like I always.
I've had
say,
people even say that to me. People used to tell me like, Christian, just stop stressing yourself out. They'll be 18 one day. I've had people tell me that, and I'm like, amen. But that's not what I was looking for to hear in this
Right,
moment.
true.
But yeah.
I always say I'm one of the most understanding people because I really try to look at every situation from every perspective. And as a godmom, like I've had some ratchet baby moms because I call my godmoms, my god kids, mom, my baby moms. Like I've had those issues where it's like, okay, I'm not doing this. Like.
Oh.
Like I would just be like, you know what, I'm not going to deal with this, like, cause they get to treating you like you really gave them the child, like you really got them pregnant. You got me messed up, shorty. I'm a single mom, like I got to take care of my kids. I'm
And
just here to
start
help. You feel me?
just telling you what you're going to do, not even
Right,
asking.
So I definitely understand certain situations. I also know, like I said, I got a lot of male friends. Like I know guys who go above and beyond for their kids, and I just feel like. You know, those aren't the fathers that should be on child support. I just feel like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like everything is flipped upside down. Like the people who need is not getting, and the people that's getting
Correct.
don't need it. So
Correct.
I just feel like everything is just trifling, and the opposites truly attract. But
I think what I got from this, only listened to it once. What I got from this was this just sounds like a relationship conversation.
I
This
just
is
feel
why
like-
if
I don't know.
I
mean,
was
I feel like
her husband, I would be like, I would need to talk about it, because this sounds like this is not a child support thing, or this sounds like people who are in a relationship to me. Like that's more of what this sounds like, because I think yes, because this sounds like I understood what she was saying immediately, and I don't have kids. This sounds like a woman frustrated in a relationship. So if I was her husband, I'd be like, so what's I just want to make sure, like, are we, because you know her husband, for instance, has not always been faithful. So I would be thinking she decided to get even, and this is who it was with, and now you don't like how he acted. Like, this is how I would take it, because I understood, without having kids, I understood this
Right.
perfectly. So this sounds more like relationship. Like, I don't like how you act, and I wish you act right. It sounds more like that.
Well, I mean, I could see that perspective, but for me, again, it's just, first of all, I left my children's father. Like, that was me. I left, like, literally states away. Like, had to get away. But my thing is, it is a relationship.
It is.
Like, we have a child together. We're always going to have a relationship. And I do feel a way about the way that you're acting, and I'm always going to feel a way about the way that you're acting, because it negatively affects my child, which negatively affects my life. So that's just my stance on it. I don't really.
It's statements
only
like,
because. Yeah, please give me an example.
save your drama for your new chick. Like, this sounds like stuff chicks who's with the nigga is like, all right, you doing too much. The chick I know you was screwing yesterday when you didn't pick up the phone when I called, give that to her. These are type of statements I've made in the last 7 days because I didn't like how people were governing themselves. yeah, this is proof that you were out, that I'm in a rotation. So take all of that and give it to, like, this is how I talk.
And I took it as, when she said that, I took it as, you're talking to me like we're still in that situation, but you should take that to your shorty because I'm not her. Like, that's not where we at. I just need you to be a father to our child. That's it. But again, I'm only speaking to it in a relation to my situation. So in general, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not hearing what anybody else could hear. Like, I'm hearing it as, oh, okay, well, in my situation, you absolutely right. Like, bro, you don't need to be talking to me like I'm supposed to answer the phone when you call because I'm not your girl. Right. Like, you don't need to, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I'm taking it because that's my situation. So I get what you're saying, though.
Waka, I would be like, because you just said, if we're just raising a kid, then don't be acting like that if I ain't pick up the phone. If these kids is such and such age, that shouldn't even be going on no more. Like, does. You see what I'm saying?
But there are guys that
how
do
I would
that.
Be
like,
it.
Okay, I'm not going to get too personal, but there are guys that the child has their own cell phone, but you want to text and call me for why?
So I will say this. I ensured all of my children had their own phone. So that way, that would alleviate any contact.
Right, but that's
you
not
only
all
call
guys.
me in case of an emergency. That's about it. And I prefer you call me from their phone. Praise the Lord. Now, I ain't lying. Real talk.
That's my thing. Like, once the child is of age to have, what are you calling me for?
But
like,
there's a lot of people, though. What you're saying, though, a lot of people do feel like that. They feel like because we have a child together, like I have that right. So when I call you, I'm calling for a reason. You should be taking my call. We have a child together. These are arguments
is with
I've
me.
had.
So what are you calling me for? My child is fine.
Yo.
I'm feeling like God has done me a favor by keeping me.
I'm trying to tell you. Listen. I'm trying to tell you.
My Lord.
I totally agree with Charlene.
Okay, Charlene said, I think no influence is better than a negative influence. One positive parent is better than having two parents and one of them is damaging the child.
Agreed. 1,000,000%.
That's
I always say it's not about an absentee parent or which parent is absent. It's about the temperament of the parent that's raising a child, period. That's what makes a difference in who the child becomes, more so than whether or not they have an absentee parent and which parent it is. Because even if a child is raised by the dad and the mom is the deadbeat, it's the temperament of the father that could really, have a positive influence on who the child becomes.
And maybe this is why I identify with it, but at the same time, if I was Waka, I'd be like, what is going on? Because a lot of, I don't know, from the baby fathers I know now, they say there are two sides to every story. I don't agree. I agree there's just the truth. And I think people should tell it. And I'm notorious for being like, now maybe I shouldn't have said it like that, but that's what I said.
Can I say
kind of keep it a bean. Sure.
I just kind of discover a new insight with that. I used to feel the same way. But there is something that I am learning about people. They are telling their truth.
Yeah, but it's not the truth.
It's
and that's
not
what
the
I'm
truth.
saying. There's only one side.
There's only one true and living God. There is only one truth. Absolutely. But I have learned that people, and I'm telling you, like, I've heard stories, seen some things to where it even made me question the truth. Like, did it happen that way? I mean, because they're
insane.
They will sell that
thing. That
still
ain't the truth, though.
Yeah.
So my thing is, from what I've seen with my own eyes, from as much of the truth that I know, the nightmare be the mothers. This is why I don't know, this was just interesting.
Amen.
And this is why I won't date somebody with children as well, because I don't have the tolerance for it. Listen, don't ask me nothing about your child's father. See, I wasn't there when y'all made that child.
My fear,
that ain't got nothing to do with me. Don't be trying to talk to me unless I'm around your child. We should have a mutual understanding. But if I'm just talking to him, and I prefer, if I'm talking to somebody who have children, I prefer to only see him when it's not his weekend. Like, let's be serious. Like, let's be serious for real.
I mean, if y'all just dating, but at some point when you become more serious,
we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. There's no reason for me to talk to you.
If we want to pick this
I've never met your child. I don't even know her name. I don't need to.
if we're gonna pick this wound, I would like to say that no in the beginning. But if you've been with somebody 4 years,
Oh,
I feel
God,
like
no.
you should have seen the child, and the fact that the last time you saw them, that a new child came up that you've never heard about, that is quite old, is a problem. Amen. So
deep.
what I was gonna say is we not even gonna get into that. Amen.
Go ahead to the next
But
Yo.
It's good.
yeah, this is the reason I didn't want to date anybody with a child before I did, was because I just felt like there was potential for it to be a nightmare based on the child. Like, I didn't want a child whose mom is telling them get that B hell, and then you give
Right.
them B hell.
Right.
And like, my godkids, I love them to pieces, but I'm getting older now, which is why I hope my husband is somewhere, because I don't want to be the one with super bad kids, because now I'll just be too old for all that. So I don't be feeling like it. So now I be trying to talk to them, but I used to whoop their tail, and there's nothing worse than being around a bad kid that you can't pop. So I just didn't want to be with nobody with kids. It wasn't until I got with somebody with kids that I realized that children are the least of the problems. It's the parents and their ongoing shenanigans that often go on up until graduation day. I mean, y'all niggas be screwing for years, decades. So it was just like, yeah, but from what I've seen, now I think that's why I saw it that way. Because from what I've seen, the moms have been horrible. So this sounds more like relationship issues. Because that's supposed to be my boo issues. I feel like I be the man and they be the girl, except for when you start talking to younger guys and they start talking to you like you their child. That's a new problem.
I would say altogether, though, she's
Amen.
definitely coming and talking from a place of expectation. I've had expectations of you as a man, as a baby father, things that I felt like you should be doing. And he's not doing it. So this is her delivery in response to his lack. So yeah, whatever it is, whether it is a still ongoing side relationship or if it's just a co-parenting.
No.
So you think it's just a co-parenting? Do you feel like it's something?
I feel like I said, for me, if she was my wife and I saw the lyrics, we would have been at the marriage counselor's office. We need to have a conversation because I need to understand where you coming from. Like, where is all this coming from? Yesterday we were smiling, happy, and had a picnic.
Right,
Today
and now this
you
song
got horns coming out your head. I need to understand what happened. Did y'all have because I will say this too, because it does happen sometimes like that, to where everything is good and then you get a text message and then you flip.
Yes.
So
I don't have
did
kids
you get
and
a
I know
text?
that.
Did you have a conversation?
Yes.
Did he say something that offended or bothered you? Like, what caused this transition?
Okay, so I'll give you an example. So I'm a single mom. I'm taking care of my children. And my son texts his dad, and this is a hypothetical situation. My son texts his dad and asks him something, and his dad says something ridiculous back, right? So now I'm an adult. I'm going to the adult, and I'm saying, bro, what's up with you? And you say, oh, well, I was calling you a week ago, and you wasn't answering, so don't have my son calling me, asking me for nothing. You don't think this song is valid? You don't think I got the right to spaz on this? Like, you acting like a whole female out here right now in your feelings, acting a freaking fool. My son asked you for something you need to deliver because he don't ask you for nothing. It's the least you could do. And don't talk to my son crazy because I'm going to get crazy. That's just me.
As a grown woman, no. You don't write this song because grown-ups that's not petty don't. No. If I wrote a song about, I could write a whole church album if we doing it off of situations where people didn't talk to you right. And are you kidding me?
But it goes back to what you said. Some things are just best left unsaid.
Yes.
Like, that's something she, again, as a husband, that's something you could have told me. We could have had a conversation. Now you could have also told me, like, listen, I need to cuss you out real quick because I can't get to him.
Yeah, you could have just vented.
I
You
can't
could have vented,
believe
yeah.
y'all are saying these things as creatives. Let me just explain something to you. As a creative, if I can write instead of stab,
No, I'm not knocking that.
I'm going to write.
No, I understand that. This is fine. That's her form of communication. That's her outlet. However, that needs to stay in the house. That's what I'm saying.
And this kind of music, I think is largely responsible for the petty ratchet.
Right, because you know what you know what I see right
in.
now? The scene from what was that movie? Waiting to Exhale. Somebody about to bleach their man's clothes, set a car on fire. I'm telling you, some women are gonna take this, they're gonna make it their anthem, and it's gonna go way beyond probably what she might be trying to say and deliver.
Well, as a mature
you also got to take exactly.
Parent,
I was just going to say you have to take into consideration maturity.
I'm just happy that someone can relate to the other situation, because not all moms is out here wanting to be with their child's father. Not all moms is out here using their children as pawns. Not all moms is out here being the deadbeat and making their child's father look bad on purpose.
But
like
most
there
of them
are
are
situations where the mom is holding it down, and I mean like above and beyond, and the dad is on some feminine stuff. Period. That's all I'm saying.
You identify. I'm going to say that I identify with WAP. I don't think that song should have been made. I'm nasty and I got a WAP. However, I'd have never wrote that. Ever. Ever. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like we live in a society point when we did Mr. Policeman after Lil Baby song. There was a point blank, here it is, and then there was a colorful creative approach. I miss the days of colorful creative approaches. Mrs. Jones was a song about an adulterous relationship. We got a whole side, but it was classily done. Right. And we no longer tactfully, creatively make something beautiful out of something bad or painful. Gravity was a painful song. If I'd have wrote Gravity from what it was really from, this nigga just got engaged, but he's telling me how much he loved me. He drove straight from Chicago back to see me because he don't really want to marry. He wants to marry her for his political agenda, but I'm the one he loves, and I don't want to get. If I'd have wrote it like that, it would have been a Ratcheteer song. You get what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
So it's not the content, it's the lack of creativity.
It's the approach.
I got you.
Right.
It's like, so that's why we're saying we can see where it'll be a Ratcheteer anthem. She's not telling a lie, but now there's no. I don't know. To me, everything just doesn't need. This'll be like, next it'll be the chick the pastor sleep with make a song. Like, you get what I'm saying? It just, there's no end to this.
That I forget her name, but the lady who wrote the book Pimps in the Pulpit.
Child. That was something.
I mean,
and we all know what goes on, and even we could do a show on that because I even have a different look at that. Until you have been in that pastoring position, you do not understand the hole that leaves in you. And if you're with somebody who doesn't understand it, that's a hole that has to be filled, and that's not when Jesus fills. You real rap straight up. That you need somebody to fill that. But I wouldn't write a song about if my nigga don't hold it down, I'ma go, cause that hole got to be filled. I was holy and it created a hole. Ow, like approaches everything.
Yo, shout outs to all of our viewers. We definitely appreciate y'all. And we love the comments. Please keep them coming. Patrick, you was mad quiet. Shout out to my man Patrick. He did wish all the mothers a happy Mother's Day. I saw that in the comments. Shout outs to Ebony. You said facts.
What do you have another name?
What are you saying? What are you saying facts to? I need to know what you was in agreement with in that moment when you said facts.
All right, well, let me read the chorus while we wait for her to respond.
Go ahead.
Save your drama for your new chick. I don't want it. I've been through it. I can't stand you. I don't want you. Since you can't be a decent baby father, guess that make you a baby mama. You act like a bleep sometimes. I feel like we switch sometimes. And you're the baby mama. I hate the way you act some days. Like you trying to take my place and be the baby mama. Again, I don't.
I will say this. That whole part right there, though, that's an attachment still. To me. That first part. Like, you angry, sis. Take your problems to the next one. Like, she's mad.
I don't want to have anything to do with my children's father. Like, if I never speak to him, see him, anything, I would be like at peace. But I can't stand that guy. Like, I feel a way towards that guy. And it's not even personal. And I always say this, as a woman, you just a regular dude. But as a mother, I hope you kick bricks and fall flat on your face. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, that's where I'm coming from with this. Like, I'm going to feel a way as a mom that I would never feel as a woman. Like, that's just where we at with it. So I don't see how y'all
It's that
here.
first line. It's that save that drama for your new chick. I'm telling you, that's
But
something
see,
I
and
said
even when
out
she's
of
saying
anger.
that, I can hear situations where me and him is like, you talking to me like I'm still your girl. You gotta chill. That's where I hear it. That's what I'm hearing.
I just
Like, bro,
hear,
I'm not your girl. I'm just trying to get you to be a father.
well, even in that,
Like, do this over there.
but even in that, it sounds like somebody wants it to be more than it is. If it's not her, then it's him. That makes it sound like there's still a. That's why I
And
said as
I agree,
Waka, I would be
because
like, what's
he
up?
probably might still be trying.
Yeah, somebody.
slide
That's what
in
I'm
and
saying.
say something.
But that, again, I can only speak for my perspective. That's what I get from it. Also, I do know about her situation with her child's father. That's why it's so relatable to me, because that seems to be the situation. Is that he's not as much of a father to their child because he wants to be with her.
Oh, well, then we right. Check mark. All we know is something sound like there's a freaking attachment still. That's what we saying.
I'm just saying, I feel like she's trying to say that this is not always the
then
situation.
It makes sense
it's not
now.
always the baby mom holding on. It's not that's what I feel like she's saying. It's sometimes it's the baby dad that's holding on and wanting more and not willing to be a father if he can't be the dude. Like, he can't be the husband or the boyfriend or whatever.
But in that way,
I
it's
feel
still
like that's what
bad
she was
because
saying.
she's saying that that's how chicks. I don't know. This is kind of a
But that's
double-edged
but
sword.
that was the story behind the song, is that's the narrative that guys are always saying, oh, she won't let me see my kid because I won't smash. Guys are always saying that.
And if she not smashing him, he would still be carrying on like this. Like, this is strange to me because she been with him with Waka for a long time.
I can speak from experience. It's been years, and you won't leave me alone. Yes.
That's crazy.
Anywho's, carry on.
That's crazy. All right, verse 2. This goes out to you, crying out loud to you. When you gonna man up? When you gonna stand up? We never made a good us. When you gonna admit that? When you had me, you couldn't get right. How you want me back?
See what I'm saying? You don't see what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be honest with you. The people where I make these statements is because there's still some soreness there. Even if I don't want to be with them, there's still a soreness.
Some men have that entitlement thing too. Like, you have my child, you belong to me. It's a very sick way of thinking,
they
and I
feel
know
like that's
so
their pussy.
many men. You understand what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So many men feel that way. I just feel like that's where she's coming from. That's how I took it. That's why I find it relatable, and that's why I enjoy the song. But I really feel the way now that y'all done made it a ratchet anthem and going to have these deadbeat chicks out here running this song in the dirt. I feel away.
'Cause think
this
about
ain't
it.
for you.
Because
Show.
a lot of chicks who relate and it's the truth. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking of me, so maybe I need to take me out of it. That's not being objective. I don't know. There's a lot of things I know to be true, but I don't waste my time on talking about it because people take things a certain. Like, Christian's been with me where we were at gigs and I talked about stuff and people would then call me up later and say God's going to heal me. It was never that. It wasn't that I needed to be healed from church stuff. I was honest. I was telling the truth about for others who are me that this is how it is, but you got to keep pushing. And to the person who doesn't understand it, they hear. So I've learned how to know the truth and keep it. So my experience is people who really know it, classy people who really know it, mature people who really know it wouldn't come out and say it like this. And so it will be latched onto by, and I think she knows it when she did it, because the goal is to get a hit. So the real chicks this applies to will probably be more of the silent majority. The ones that's going to take my song to the rafters and push me is the ones that you're the baby mama example I'm talking about when I call him a baby mama. Amen.
Go ahead to the
Feel
next
you.
one.
You're in pre-chorus. I wish I knew what went on inside your head. Thought I had an X, I got a Y instead. Do you even listen to the bleep you say? You act like you got what I got in between my... And then the chorus is the same. So the bridge is, did I hold your hand in the delivery room? This was low. I'm not going to lie. This was like kicking... This was below the
I'm
belt.
telling you, there's all shots in this.
Did I hold your hand in the delivery room? Did you give birth? I don't know. Was it me or you? Is it your time of the month? When you in your mood. In that case, I'm a baby father. Guess that makes me the baby mama. Then it goes back into the chorus.
Now that part I can't necessarily relate to. I felt like she was just trying to drive the point
Shots
home
fired.
that
Hard.
the roles were reversed. But overall, I mean, I believe that music is interpretational and it's gonna hit people differently.
You know what you sound like me
That's
with
just how I
Savage,
feel.
where y'all was like, he's being considerate, he's being vulnerable. And I'm like, are y'all insane?
Yo, I think we need to do a Savage Part 2.
This was the Savage part too. She went ham on him, like
Oh man.
real rap. Like she went, and I also think you have to be careful with. I'm not for songs necessarily or anything that kind of degrades men, despite the fact that I've had horrible experiences in my love life. I still don't think, especially black men, that it's a cool thing to do to emasculate them, especially publicly. And I think a lot of relationship marriages go the way they do because sometimes females do too much. And they hit below the belt and then it's irreparable. So that probably also is kind of my thing with this, because I think it's going to encourage that culture, which I'm not a fan of. When I first heard the song, I understood what she was saying. I even agreed. It just seemed like a petty song. It seemed like it was like a...
communication is key. It is a big thing. And if both sides, if both parties, but primarily women. Let me just finish. If women would learn how to talk and when to talk, a lot could be accomplished. There are times where people, I'll speak from my experience, there are times where people will text me knowing I'm dealing with a lot, and they will text me a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm already dealing with a bunch of stuff. And I can't get to them in that very moment. And because I didn't get to them in their time, then they flip the script. May God be with you. I'm not even going to try to pick up the pieces anymore, because it's exhausting. It is draining, and it's too much. And then I could take it even a step further. How dare you, and how insensitive of you to be that selfish and to just drop the pieces. And Trackstar is going to be our next song.
Well,
Just
let me say this in the same breath, because we legit from beginning, it was made clear we were created for you all. So even with all that you have going on, there are women where if that area is not right, while you're dealing with a lot, that is our lot. So if I'm texting you and you're not responding to me, and I will say this, men who do that, it's been my experience, when the shoe's on the other foot and I'm doing something and can't get right back, that is an immediate issue. If I don't respond within 2 to 5 minutes, there is a problem, and y'all could take 14 hours, sometimes 48 hours, and we're supposed to be okay. And when you're in love with somebody, in certain moments, especially if they're the center of your attention, you just want to know sometimes y'all take it as we're trying to drop stuff and we just want reassurance.
But I will also say this: stop texting. Pick up the phone. Call me. Make sure I am okay. Find out what's going on before you go on your rants. Do that.
I'm just going to say it could be seen as equally as selfish, because it sounds like it's all about what's going on with you and not what's happening to me. It can be seen that way from the other side.
And I get that. However, you didn't even give me a chance. That's what I'm saying. It was in your timing. You know what I'm saying?
No, because the ones where they did it to me, when it was them trying halfway be in their feelings, I had to respond immediately or it was a problem. I got those texts like, guess I'm bothering you, and these the same efforts that wouldn't respond to me at all. And I was the issue if I then sent another text like that, I guess I'm bothering you, or it was a whole problem. But when them things didn't get a response, sometimes y'all don't know, it's not until y'all know how it feels, and then you like, oh, and you ain't never gonna admit that, but it be like that. No, that was my experience.
Well, for me, I think that art sparks dialogue, and I think that multiple perspectives should be represented. And I was just glad that this conversation was being had. No, like that this conversation was being had. That as much as you hear about the deadbeat baby moms that's using the child as a pawn, that's putting the dad on child support when he do everything for the child, like she don't even got no job, and he the one who buy all the Pampers, the formula, and everything, and then you go put him on child support, like stuff like that. Like there is a situation where the dad is the one that's using sex as a weapon, that's holding it against the child, what the mom say or do or don't do, or try to use the child to control the mom. All those types of things do occur. That was my point.
But do you think that's the common narrative? Because in my experience, to me, the common narrative that people think is that it's always the fathers that's deadbeats. I think the only people who realize a lot of these moms is awful are people who either are dating a good father who has a bad baby mom, or you're friends with people who are the father in it. Otherwise, you don't see it that way. At least for me,
Listen,
to me, the narrative is the men are bad.
I was going to say, maybe I just hang out with too many men, because I only hear...
It's not until you hang with
negative,
men. Correct.
Yeah, I only hear the negative baby mom. I don't hear the negative baby dad side, like, unless he's just an absentee father, then it's that. But I don't hear
I can introduce you to some ratchets.
You know what I'm saying? I don't hear this part of it where it's like he literally is everything they say about a baby mom, the baby dad is doing. Like, I never heard that side of the story before.
So
I'll introduce you to some people.
If this is the narrative,
I don't want to know them people.
if this is what's going on, because you talked about her situation, how's Rocker supposed to feel? If it's already known that he still wants to be with his baby mom, and they got a kid, so there's always going to be a reason for conversation. How does he feel? Because usually it's the female dealing with it.
We're going to message Rocker and find out what song
his
he about to drop.
Because she don't want to have anything to do with him. And she's made that clear over the years. So I'm just on the outside looking in, but I think that that's the case. And this is something that I can
here's the
relate
question. She might not want nothing to do with him, but does she still have expectation of him?
You always gonna want your child's father to do right by your child.
Agreed.
Okay, so with that being said, then there's still a connection.
Who said there wasn't?
So what I'm saying is the fact that I don't know.
There
I'm
not
different.
be?
Well,
Like,
I'll
I'm
say this
confused.
When I cut somebody off,
right, but you can't cut off, like I said, if I never see or hear from this person ever again in life, I will be at peace. But if there's a situation with my child and there's a reason for us to communicate, that's just what it's going to have to be. There's very little that I won't do for my children. And that's all real parents. Like, so that's the situation you get yourself in when you have kids.
So if something happened, you would notify him?
Probably not. There's no reason to. That's a different situation, though. You understand what I'm saying? I said if there was a reason for us to communicate. You understand? Like,
in her situation, to me, it sounds like he's kind of around regularly. The issue is just he wants to be with her, and that creates flack. So he's not. Okay, well then this song makes even less sense to me, to be perfectly honest.
It's like I don't. Again, just from my perspective, I don't ask you for nothing, bro. So the one time I ask you for something, you hit me with the. It could literally be, well, why don't you ask your husband? Well, because my husband isn't her father.
But don't you kind of already expect nothing because you've been nothing all along? So I'm gonna ask you, but I already know you nothing.
That's me. Like, I might ask you just for kicks and giggles, just because I want to hear what you gonna say, because I'm gonna make sure my child got it. But I'm just saying.
I don't know. I was starting to understand, sis. Now I don't. Again. Because if he ain't hardly around, then this is, I don't know. To me, some things you just get used to, even if it's bad. You just be like, this is what it is.
Even if I'm used to it, don't mean I'm comfortable with it. Even if I know this is what the situation is, don't mean I'm okay with it. I'm still going to feel away, and I still feel the need to express myself. You a female.
I don't know. I was on her side. Now I'm back in the middle.
Cause you over there like
yeah,
she,
I'm back like
she gonna ride home thinking about this one, gonna call back like
'Cause I had now I was on the side with Naya. I'm like, all right, I get it. Okay, I get it. And now I'm like, no, I don't. So he's barely around. Okay, so then what the freak? Like, I don't know. I'm back to being like,
I don't know. Good choice. Good choice. Good choice.
Like
Good choice.
I was glad to
Great
not be
song
the
for
one.
Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah,
I thought it was perfect.
It was
Shout out to all the baby mamas.
hilariously ironic for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Any closing remarks?
Happy Mother's Day to all the mamas out there.
I would like to say, keep venting. Let's keep in mind we don't want to strengthen the ratcheteer movement as we create. Amen. So if we could, kind of.
But I mean, if that's the case, they can take anything. Like,
Yes, they can.
Yes, they can.
I mean,
Yes.
But this is not to offend, but this is on their level of education. This is understandable
that's
to
why
them.
I said I understand what she's saying as far as it's not the content, it's the lack of creativity. Because as a writer, it's like, bro, I could have really went in on this. But
Yes.
But I mean, I get it.
I could have very easily. Mr. Policeman I'm upset about what's going on. I could have very easily said, let's shoot him up. Let's F the police. But you know what I mean? It was like a different approach. It was the same feeling,
Right.
just a different approach.
Right.
I would just, it's not that her song is bad. It's that the audience that is going to push it is just not one that needs to be pushed, nor do they need anything to push. But happy Mother's Day.
They just need to sit at home and be quiet.
And to the few fathers who, take care of their kids, got custody of their kids, shout out to y'all. Y'all days is coming, but, y'all are kind of the moms. So shout out to you. I know they be like on Father's Day, women, y'all not fathers. You could never be. Y'all shut up. When people did it by themselves, let them have a moment. So to the men,
I agree. I ain't nobody's father.
Yes.
Okay?
I do, but at the same time, like, let her flex if that's what she want to do. Again, I wouldn't do it on social media. That's just me. But some of you just seem to be thirsty for punishment, so do your thing. But shout out to the mothers and to the dads who did it all on your own. Shout out to y'all this weekend.
Hey, shout outs to Mia. She commented. She said, "Love the conversation and happy Mother's Day to you."
Did Ebony ever tell us what she was saying?
No,
right about?
she's a
How
riot
does she
though.
spelled it?
Ebonee.
Ebony.
So like ebony.
I would have
but-
said Ebony.
Yeah.
I was like, you just want to snap on people. Miss Ebony. Okay, we got you.
Yeah. Yeah. So to all the mothers, happy Mother's Day. This definitely was a good.
Her mother. We're not responsible for our spellings. That's another show. Amen.
God. So we definitely a good pick. Definitely a good conversation starter. Yeah. I was gonna say a bunch of other stuff, but I ain't even gonna say it. So yeah, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. We like I said, we're cutting it short because I need the laughs of tonight. It has been
It's
rough.
gonna start late anyway.
I know they ain't gonna start till like
missing
8:30, but because they
going
don't
to
never
bed.
start on time. But yeah, it's been a rough 2 weeks for me, so I need
Did y'all
some
like
good
the
kicks
Method
and
Man,
giggles.
Redman one? I didn't know. Y'all know I live in my own world. Tony was watching it, and I heard it in the background. I didn't
You
know.
didn't watch it?
I don't watch none of them. I don't think you know what it takes from me. My music career is very important to me, and to watch other people thrive at it and do it really hurts me. So it's hard to watch anything. That's the truth. Like, no shade, but no, I didn't watch it. But I
think you
heard
should
it in
watch
the
tonight,
background.
though.
No.
Just listen to it on the way home.
No, because I see this as genius by the PR because of the trouble that T.I. and them are in. It's also super distasteful. So it's like, it's hard. And when you get to show business, it's hard. Do you make decisions on business or moral? It's like they're always pent against each other, and you can't have both. It's like either you want to be rich or you want to.
I just feel like these comments gonna have me cringing, and I'm just so excited.
I was not a. I didn't really. This is gonna sound so bad. I didn't really know who Escape was. Do you know what song I thought was? Maybe I should say this off the air. But I didn't really know them like that.
Really?
I was raised in a real church home. You got a beating for that. So a lot of things I missed. Like the only SWV song I knew was "You're the One for Me." Wow. Real rap. I heard "Weak," but I couldn't sing. I could say the hook. I couldn't sing you no verses. No, cause you couldn't sit and listen to that. Not in my house.
You were an obedient child.
It wasn't until I realized my cousins knew everything because we all had the same rules. So when they was singing and rapping stuff, I was like, oh, I'm the only one that's. So then I didn't care about the people at school. I was used to not fitting in with them. It was the fact that people who had the same rules as me wasn't doing it. Because then I was further alienated.
Thank God for Walkmans, because that was the only way we snuck anything in.
Yeah. And my mom started going
sneaking, but we heard everything.
She started going through where I kept my tapes and stuff. And then that was a beating.
Then you just got put Hezekiah Walker and Fred Hammond name on.
I remember she found my Memphis Bleak tape. That was the good album. I was upset.
Oh, man.
And Blueprint 2. No, Blueprint 1. She found that in Memphis Bleak. It was like, sis, come on, mind your business. If Myth didn't do nothing else right, that album was right. That joint was all right.
I can't.
Where he at? Let's leave him where he is.
Listen, shout outs to all the mothers. Hope you all enjoy your day tomorrow. Please be safe.
Mom, give me an extra day. I forgot. I ain't been nowhere to get nothing.
Let's keep in mind, COVID is still out there. I know America is opening back up.
Says the man who was on a plane last week.
Listen, but I will tell you this. Right. Or when I take the plane, I make sure that I am in a certain spot away from the people. If you fly with American Airlines, they are very good for social distancing, especially in the first class. Praise ye the Lord. So, yeah.
That's where your bougie tail was.
So y'all
Did
please
you expect anything
be
less?
safe. I was not bougie. Yo, chill. Y'all please be safe. And traffic is crazy. People are driving crazy. You just, if you don't have to go nowhere, order and cook your mom something. Do something different. But yeah. Yeah, do something.
I know we going to eat with sis. You've heard my prayer about that, Lord. But maybe I'll ask her what she wants me to make her. My mom's very sentimental and doesn't
make her
need a whole lot.
Make her the cake.
What cake?
The sweet potato cake.
Oh, yeah, she was upset when the ants destroyed it.
So
y'all was the only two that got to eat it.
Make her a cake and bring me a slice. Praise the Lord.
Can I tell you what she did? Do you know when we found the ants, I went to cut me a piece. I said, Mom, the ants on it. She was like, no, that woman stood over the trash can and was trying to knock the ants off and keep the cake.
All right, y'all, we out of here. Listen, if y'all ain't doing nothing tonight, please get on Instagram or whatever platform you use.
Comment just for Naya. That's why she's watching.
That versus battle. Please inbox us. Text me. I need the laughs. I'm here for it.
Comments. The good ones.
Yeah, I'm out of here because I got to log on and catch all these comments. So peace. We love y'all. Happy Mother's Day. We out of here.